Merry Christmas, rollers. Today is Christmas Day, and so I thought I would show you how we are making Christmas dinner. We are having a traditional ham, but I'm also going to show you how I make my favorite cheesy potatoes known as funeral potatoes. So let's go. Funeral potatoes, that's a funny name. So I believe they are called this because when you're at church and somebody calls and says, you know, somebody so-and-so has passed away, or we're having this church function, you know, mostly because if somebody has passed away, I think this is where it originated from. Can you make these potatoes? They're this cheesy potato, but they call them funeral potatoes. Is that so funny? I mean, I guess it's not that funny, but it does have a significance to the type of recipe you are using. It's got cream of chicken, it's got lots of cheese, and it has some sour cream in it. And I'm going to show you and give you some tips on how I perfected this recipe. Plus, I'll show you the actual recipe is below in the description box. So let's do this. So I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas. I know you'll be watching this a couple of days after Christmas, which is totally fine because these cheesy potatoes are good for any occasion. They're good for like a work party or like a family dinner. Everybody will be so impressed by them and will love them. So first off, you're going to use a cream of chicken soup. So this is a gluten-free version because Paul is mostly trying to do a lot of things gluten-free. We are probably eventually going to hit a lot of dairy-free stuff in the future, but for now, thank goodness we're not. So at least this part is gluten-free. I will link the recipe to this below if you're interested. It is so easy to make. And so I'm also going to be putting a half of a can of milk, but I'm doubling this recipe, so I'm just going to do a full cup. So it would be like half a cup. Perfect. Okay, and now we're going to get some more ingredients. I'm going to bring you closer. Sour cream, sharp cheddar, all the good stuff. All right, we're going to add a cup of sour cream. So this is going to make it nice and creamy. Now a lot of people mix these in a bowl. I like to do it over the burners because I like to have everything so incorporated that it is nice and mixed through. We can't forget some sharp cheddar cheese. So you're going to need about a cup. And so I'm doubling. And I'm going to add, I have a little bit of medium cheddar that I'm going to add. Sharp cheddar is just fine. I just didn't have enough. So it's actually best to have it with the sharp. And then we're just going to put in some dehydrated onions. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. It doesn't take a lot. I'd say maybe a couple of tablespoons. That's one thing, being that I don't really love onions, is when I'm eating one of these recipes and finding a big chunk of it in there. So I feel like this is going to give you still the flavor and all the good, but not the big chunks. Just in case you have some people that do not love it. So I'm just going to add a little bit of salt, probably about a teaspoon, and then the same with the pepper. And then we're just going to get this going, you guys. Get it all mixed in. And then I'll show you what we're going to do with the potatoes. So I have 2 bags of these. You only need to have 1 for the recipe, but I'm doubling it. And not only am I doubling it, this is for tonight's dinner and for us in the next couple of days to kind of graze on, so to say. But we are on our way to a family lunch. Let me show you how many of these potatoes I've made. What? That's double. Then there's quadruple. I think what's 6 times? I've made a lot of these potatoes in the last 24 hours. So, and that's a good thing because they are so good. So these bags at Walmart are pretty inexpensive. They're like $2, and I always get the Southern style, which is the cubed style. But here's my trick and the little tip is I let them thaw out overnight or even up to 24 hours. Just so that they soften up, because many times I've made this recipe and although it's cooked through, when you take a bite, it almost has like a couple of pieces will have like a frozen consistency or like a raw consistency. It totally still tastes fine, but then that way when they're thawed out, it'll cook faster, it will cook better, and it'll be delicious. So I'm just going to put 2 bags in here, and then I'm just going to mix it up with the cheese sauce, and then I'll show you what Paul's doing. He's getting our ham ready, and he's going to be putting it on the grill. I know you guys have been asking for him to be part of the grilling again. So he's going to show you what he's doing with that, and I'll kind of show you what I'm still doing in here too. So such a fun morning. Okay, so this cheese sauce is ready. Now this is our first time actually using the gluten-free cream of chicken soup, and I think it looks great. It looks like it has lots of flavors, lots of seasonings in here. So we're just going to add it to here. So easy, you guys. So a 9x13 will work just fine for the one recipe. But I wanted to get some disposable pans just so it'll make the cleanup a little bit easier. And I could only really find these big ones because I wanted to get one for the ham as well. So these ones, the ones that I'm taking over to my father-in-law's, they have like a higher, which I like better, I think. But this will be fine as well. So we're just mixing that in. And then we're just going to get it right into the oven. But I'm going to show you, I put a special ingredient on top that is so good. So we've got Paul now in the kitchen. He is starting to get that ham ready. Are you going to put any seasonings on it?
I am. We just got this new one I'm excited to try. Pork and poultry.
From the Traeger?
Yeah, and it's got apple in it, which apple goes really good with pork. So
sounds good.
It's just sugar, salt, paprika, dehydrated apple, onion, and other spices. So it'll be yummy.
All right, let's see that go on there. So, and then you're gonna put, is the Traeger already going?
It is.
Okay, so.
I wonder if I should spray this with a little apple juice first to bind it.
That probably would be a good idea. Okay, so while Paul is working to get that ready for the Traeger, I'll show you the secret ingredient. Well, it's not that secret, but it's what I use, and it works out really great. So this recipe calls for corn flakes, like mixed in melted butter, and then you put it on the top for crisp. I just take potato chips, just plain regular potato chips, and give it a good squish. And you guys, this will make the topping so crunchy, and it actually kind of protects the top from browning too much, and so that it can get cooked all the way through. So 350 degrees for about 45 minutes or so, but I'm doubling it, so I will even let it go an hour and a half. So I'm going to be putting this on all 3 of these containers, and then we're going to be cooking them. So exciting. And the reason we're making our own is because we just know we're not going to have any leftovers from Grandpa's house. And also the ones that I made for Grandpa's house have regular cream of chicken soup, and Paul being gluten-free, that's why I used that one for ours. So win for everyone's, right? Okay, so let me put these on and get them in the oven. So there it is, you guys, ready to go into the oven. One last thing I wanted to say was that Paul's grandmother, I guess, used to do this as well for her potatoes, and I just thought, what a great idea. Look at how yummy that looks. It's not even cooked, you guys. So here's the ham. Paul's about to go put it on the grill, but I wanted to show you that he sprayed it with apple juice and then used this rub on there, so it had something to stick to, which was a good idea. So he's going to kind of play this by ear a little bit. He may need to cover that with foil, but we're just going to go see. Well, that is a fancy little shelf in front of your Traeger.
It wasn't free either. They know what they're worth, and they get every dollar out of you.
So the Traeger works like an oven, but it has some wood that's in there that will be kind of infused, right, into the meat.
Yeah, if you cook it on a low heat, it will, but we're cooking it higher, so It tastes better cooked with wood, but it's not like smoked.
Okay,
The ham's already smoked.
that's right.
We're gonna take a look at it.
Oh, snap. Look at that. Beautiful. Now, how long has it been cooking out here?
I don't know.
We gotta probably keep track of that.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't think it's been more than a half an hour.
It hasn't been long, but see it's starting to separate really easily.
Yeah, that's a good pull like on it. I like that because when you put them in the oven, which is kind of the way you're supposed to, it makes a lot of juice. It makes it a little harder to see, but I like that. That looks good, and it's really fully cooked.
It's already fully cooked and smoked, so
We're just getting it flavor.
we're heating it through, giving it some more flavor with the seasonings, and cooking it with the wood pellets because everything's better.
But we think we're gonna, yeah, really. And then we said we're gonna put it maybe the last 10 minutes in the oven with the glaze.
Yeah, and that's there are two reasons we want to do that. First one is I don't want to get the Traeger all sticky from the glaze, the brown sugar, and everything going on the glaze. I just cleaned it right before we did the ham.
Yeah.
So a little laziness on my part.
No, it's being smart.
Yeah. Okay. I'm pretty smart. Just.
So then it has its storage. Like it's gonna be in the pan.
We're gonna put it in a pan in the oven so it can kind of cook in the glaze a little bit.
And then we can just put that right in the fridge. Looks good. This just came out of the oven. It looks perfect. That crispness on top. This is ours, so I'm gonna let this one come to not room temperature, but enough for me to taste it, and then I'll give you my honest review. I wonder what that'll be like. And Paul just brought in the ham. So it's just right here, and we're going to start the glazing process. So it only will take about 10 more minutes in the oven, and it's done as well. Boom, we're done. Ooh, look at that. Now that is just the packet it came with, right?
I put a little bit of that seasoning, the Traeger seasoning, inside the.
So it'll give it. Now this is typically a sweet glaze, so that will make it a little more savory too.
A little bit, yes. But I didn't do a whole lot, maybe a tablespoon or so.
Okay. That looks so good. Are you using the little brush to brush it around? Get in between the layers?
Yeah.
Cool. So I have Paul taking a bite. Now I made it with gluten-free. I think it's even more flavorful.
That's good.
Because when you make the make the cream of chicken soup, the gluten-free version, there's a lot of flavor that's going in that. A lot of pepper, onion, garlic, spices, and so good, you guys. So I think Paul's about to bring out the ham after it's been glazed. Once you put it in the oven, it only takes about 10 minutes to finish up. Oh, yes. Look at that. Doesn't that look delicious? Oh, man. I can't wait to have a taste. All right. Paul just had a taste.
That might be the best ham I've ever eaten. Oh, so good.
Oh, snap. I think I need to have some. Oh. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That is so good, you guys. Oh, it's a little bit hot. It does have the traditional packet of the glaze, but like Paul did, he added some extra seasonings to it, some apple juice. It's good stuff. Thanks so much for stopping by the channel today. What a great way to make an easy meal, especially these potatoes right here. These funeral potatoes are delicious. If you ever make them for a get-together, a family function, let me know in the comments if you have. And let me know if there are any traditional Christmas meals that you shared with your friends and family. I'd like to know as well. You guys, I love you guys so much, and I'm so grateful that you stopped by the channel. If you haven't clicked subscribe, I'd love to have you along. And stick around, rollers. You just never know what I'll be rolling out next. Bye, everyone.